On the outskirts of town, a long-forgotten mansion stands tall, its dark silhouette a haunting reminder of its troubled past. This grand yet forsaken edifice, with its boarded-up windows and creaking doors, whispers tales of horror and mystery that chill the bones of the bravest souls. It's a place where the echoes of the past are as tangible as the cold, damp air that permeates every room. Now imagine a group of young, vibrant students, their minds ablaze with curiosity and the thrill of a dare. They hear the whispered tales, the spine-chilling accounts of the mansion's dark history, and so they decide to challenge the unknown, to spend a weekend within these ominous walls. Armed with nothing but their cameras, flashlights, and sleeping bags, they set off on a journey that promises both adventure and fear. As they approach the mansion, its intimidating presence looms over them, a silent sentinel standing guard over its secrets. The mansion, once a beacon of grandeur, now wears an eerie shroud of neglect and abandonment. Its cold, forbidding appearance belies an inner darkness, a palpable sense of dread that fills the air and tugs at their nerves. But our brave adventurers are undeterred. Their hearts beat fast in their chests, a rhythm of anticipation and trepidation, but they press on. They split into two groups, agreeing to document their findings and rendezvous in the living room after an hour. Their footfalls echo through the mansion, the sound amplified by the silent, watchful walls. Each creak, each groan of the old structure sets their hearts racing, but they are committed, driven by a mix of courage and the thrill of the unknown. As they stepped inside, the door creaked shut behind them, sealing their fate. Little did they know, they were not alone. The mansion, a silent observer for decades, was about to share its gruesome secrets. The stage was set, the players were in place, and the chilling narrative of the abandoned mansion was about to unfold. The echoes of the past were ready to be heard, and our adventurers were about to discover the horrifying truth about the mansion's blood-soaked history. Splitting into two groups, they ventured into the mansion's eerie depths, oblivious to the horrors that awaited them. One group ascended the creaking staircase to the mansion's second floor, where the bedrooms and bathrooms lay shrouded in the cold darkness. A chilling discovery awaited them in one of the bedrooms, a desperate plea for help written in blood on the wall. Their hearts pounded in their chests, their laughter rang out nervously. Surely this was a prank, they assured each other, a cheap trick to stir up fear. But as they journeyed further into the house, the unsettling discoveries continued. In the bathroom, a tub filled to the brim with crimson liquid, the metallic scent of blood heavy in the air. Nausea gripped them, but again they dismissed their growing unease, attributing this gruesome sight to another prank. Meanwhile, the other group ventured into the mansion's basement, the kitchen and pantry their target. The sight that met them there was no less disturbing. Kitchen knives, their blades smeared with blood, were scattered haphazardly on the table. As with the others, they chose to believe this was part of some elaborate joke, despite the mounting evidence to the contrary. Their bravado, however, was severely tested upon opening the pantry door. Inside, the mutilated corpses of unknown victims hung from hooks, their sightless eyes a silent testament to the horrors that had occurred within these walls. Screams of terror echoed through the house, but before they could escape, the door slammed shut, locking them in with the gruesome tableau. Desperate cries for help went unanswered as they pounded on the immovable door. Meanwhile, in the living room, the first group awaited their friend's return, their laughter growing increasingly strained as the minutes ticked by. Yet they remained oblivious to the true nature of the mansion's horrors, the sinister presence lurking within its walls. Shaken, but undeterred, they retreated to the living room, their laughter echoing ominously through the mansion's silent halls. Down in the basement, a gruesome sight awaited the second group. A macabre tableau unfolded before their eyes. The kitchen, once a place of warmth and sustenance, was now a chilling sight. Kitchen knives, once used to prepare meals, were now covered in a sinister hue of red. Blood, still fresh, glistened ominously under the dim light, a horrific testament to the mansion's dark secret. Their hearts pounded in unison as they approached the pantry. A chilling gust of wind seemed to whisper warnings, but curiosity propelled them forward. The pantry door creaked open, revealing a sight that would haunt their nightmares forever. Corpses, mutilated beyond recognition, hung from hooks like grotesque marionettes. The hideous spectacle was a silent scream in the shadowy pantry, the real horror of the mansion laid bare. Their blood turned to ice as the realization hit them. The blood, the knives, the corpses. It wasn't a joke. The mansion wasn't just abandoned, it was a slaughterhouse. The terrifying stories they'd heard were not just urban legends. They were real as the dread curling in their stomachs. But before they could even process the horrific sight, a door slammed shut. The echo resonated through the chilling silence, locking them in with the house's gruesome secret. Their cries for help were futile, their pleas echoing unheard. As the door slammed shut, their screams were swallowed by the mansion's dark depths. Back in the living room, the first group waited in vain for their friend's return. The tick-tock of an antique clock echoed through the eerie silence, each second amplifying their mounting fear. A sense of dread filled the air as they attempted to reach their friends via their phones only to find them dead. A chilling realization dawned upon them. They were trapped in this haunted mansion, ensnared in a web woven by some malevolent entity. The icy grip of terror tightened as they discovered all the exits locked, the windows boarded up, transforming the mansion into a prison. The only sounds piercing the silence were their frantic heartbeats and the heavy, ominous breathing that seemed to descend from the staircase. Suddenly, the sinister figure of a masked man emerged, a large knife gleaming ominously in his hand. His laughter, cold and cruel, filled the mansion as he welcomed them to his twisted game. The words, "The last survivor wins," hung in the air, a terrifying promise of the horror that was about to unfold. The students, paralyzed by fear, could only watch as the masked man moved closer, the gleaming knife casting long, menacing shadows on the walls. The game was no longer about exploration or adventure. It was about survival. As the masked man lunged at them, the chilling laughter echoed through the mansion. The game had begun.